The spring equinox has been an important day for countless civilizations across history. The equinox is a day that daytime and nighttime are about the same length. It also marks the close of winter, a harsh and often dangerous season for the ancients, and for many farmers, it helps to mark the beginning of planting time. So it's no surprise that stories about the equinox and the passing of the seasons are abundant and important to many ancient cultures. Perhaps the most well-known story about the passing of the seasons is out of the classical Greek canon, the story of Persephone. Persephone was a daughter of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. Persephone was abducted by Hades, the god of the underworld, with the blessing of Zeus. While Persephone was missing, Demeter refused to let anything grow, and life on Earth faced extinction. So Zeus and Demeter came to a compromise. Persephone would spend half the year in the underworld with Hades, and half the year with her mother. When Persephone is with Demeter, Demeter rejoices and crops will grow, and when Persephone is with Hades, Demeter grieves and the ground is barren. The story of Persephone bears some resemblance to an even older Mesopotamian story, the descent of Inanna into the underworld. Inanna, also known as Ishtar, was a goddess of both love and war, and was represented by what we call the planet Venus. Inanna's sister was Ereshkigal, the ruler of the underworld, and Inanna's husband was Dumuzid, god of shepherds, and her sister-in-law was Geshtinanna, goddess of agriculture. When Ereshkigal's husband died, Inanna decided to visit Ereshkigal, saying that she wanted to offer her respects and sympathies. Inanna brought 7 special garments, each containing a piece of Inanna's immense divine power. When Inanna arrived at the first gate to the underworld, the doorman asked Inanna why she had come. Inanna replied that she had come to pay respects to her sister's late husband. The doorman told Inanna to wait while he consulted with Ereshkigal. Ereshkigal was greatly disturbed by her sister's appearance. Why this is unknown. Perhaps she feared that Inanna might attempt a coup. The frightened Ereshkigal instructed her doorman to stop Inanna at 7 gates. At each gate, she would be made to leave behind one of her divine garments. When Inanna objected, the doorman replied that this was the way of the underworld, which must not be questioned. And so, when Inanna reached Ereshkigal's throne, she was naked and nearly bereft of divine power. Ereshkigal stood, and Inanna sat upon Ereshkigal's throne. Upon doing so, Ereshkigal and the judges of the underworld furiously condemned Inanna, and without her divine garments, their condemnation alone was enough to kill her. After 3 days, Inanna's minister became worried about her absence. She went to the other gods to ask for help. The gods Enlil and Nanna refused to help, saying that Inanna foolishly desired divine power in both heaven and in the underworld, and so deserved what she got. But the god Enki took pity and agreed to help. Enki created 2 servants out of the dirt underneath his fingernails. He gave them the water of life, capable of reviving a goddess such as Inanna. He sent these 2 servants into the underworld. He instructed them that Ereshkigal would likely try to bribe them with immense wealth, but they were to only accept the body of Inanna and nothing else. When Enki's servants reached Ereshkigal, she was in great pain, as if in labor. In exchange for aid, Ereshkigal offered the servants rivers of water and vast fields of crops. But, true to Enki's instructions, the servants refused these, and only asked for the body of Inanna, which they were given. They then revived Inanna with the water of life, and the 3 of them made their way to the surface. But the guards of the underworld would only let them leave on one condition. For anyone to leave the underworld, someone must take their place. So these guards accompanied Inanna on her return home to decide who would replace her. They tried to take several of Inanna's servants, but each time Inanna saw that the servant had been mourning for her, and so Inanna was moved to prevent the guards from taking them. But when they reached Inanna's husband, Dumuzid, he was dressed in fine clothing, being waited on by his servants, as if nothing had happened. Furious, Inanna told the guards to take Dumuzid. Dumuzid tried to flee, but the guards captured him and dragged him to the depths of the underworld. After Inanna's anger with Dumuzid had passed, she began to miss him and mourned bitterly for him. Dumuzid's sister was Geshtinana, goddess of farming, and she grieved for him as well. Hearing their cries, a housefly that happened to have seen Dumuzid offered to help Inanna in exchange for a reward. In return for Dumuzid's location, Inanna blessed the housefly, so that it would live the rest of its life in a tavern, in comfort and luxury. Together, Inanna and Geshtinana went to Dumuzid in the underworld. Once more, they negotiated with the underworld's guards, and came to an agreement. Geshtinana would replace her brother Dumuzid in the underworld for half of the year. And so, half of the year, the world is blessed by the presence of Geshtinana, the farming goddess. And the other half of the year, Geshtinana lies in the underworld and can provide farmers with no aid.